You know we're here about
just a-
AG,
I
right?
I don't
Point
think
of-
you
point of
know what
order.
you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about. I guess
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen,
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath
would
even
you
you,
please
Ms.
bring-
Greene.
I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you
meeting
attack
will
the
suspend,
physical
meeting will
appearance of another
suspend.
person?
Are your
Move
feelings hurt?
her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What now?
We have to talk about this clash of congressional titans, specifically the Jasmine Crockett V's, Marjorie Taylor Greene counterattack. Picture this, late-night committee hearing, things are already tense, and suddenly Marjorie Taylor Greene, Georgia's favorite troublemaker, decides to come in and tech-cut Jasmine Crockett's eyelashes. Let's be clear, this wasn't just a random insult. It was a dog whistle, a microaggression infused with MAGA energy. Crockett immediately yelled, "Oh, so this is what we're doing. Now we're cutting black women's eyelashes." I almost fall out of my seat. She read the whole story in C parliamentary procedure. She didn't even say Marjorie's name. Just drop the description and sit there like, "I'm just asking a question, Mr. Speaker." Mr. Speaker, that's not innuendo, that's strategy. And let's not overlook the double standard. Greene outright insulted another member, and Republicans shrugged. But when Crockett responded with a fire hypothetical description, everyone suddenly found their pearl to clutch at. "Makes sense. Yes," Crockett said. "If I have to pull you, I might as well have phrased it." She turned pettiness into campaign cash. Now, has that gone too far? But Crockett made one thing clear. She didn't come to Congress to be belittled and silent. And honestly, I respect that. This isn't about whips. This is about boundaries. About power, about not letting racism hide behind civility. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Team Crockett, or has it gone too far? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next time Congress becomes a viral moment. Now join Tapper, Cannes' popular anchor, and Jasmine Crockett on her recent run. And with Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, wow. Tapper's question to Jasmine Crockett was subtle but loaded. Datters, you believe that her comment about your eyelashes in and of itself was racist, Sounds like a standard journalistic probe, but it actually cuts to the heart of how microaggressions and coded language work in American politics, especially when it comes to black women.
I think her specifically doing it to me, yes, that was the intent. As has been stated, you know, women wear makeup, we wear lashes, we wear all types of things to beautify ourselves. But MAGA has historically been on social media doing the things where they're saying, oh, she's black with lashes and nails and hair, and so she's ghetto. And so to me, this was her buying into that rhetoric and trying to amplify this for the MAGA crowd. And so, yeah, I absolutely think that she only did it to be racist towards me.
Because Jasmine Crockett immediately responded to Tapper in what was perhaps one of the most honest and necessary moments we've seen in mainstream political media in a long time. When Crockett said, "Yes, I think her comment was racist," specifically directed at me, Crockett wasn't just talking about a superficial insult. She was pointing out a much deeper pattern that often goes unchecked, especially when it comes to how black women are treated in public and political spaces. What makes her statement so powerful is how she calmly peels back the layers behind what some might consider just a comment about eyelashes. She points out that women of all races wear eyelashes and makeup. That's not controversial. But when a black woman does, especially in politics or a position of power, there's a long history of those aesthetics being used against her. That's not a criticism of fashion. It's a racist attack disguised as criticism. Crockett also hits the nail on the head when she says that Marjorie Taylor Greene took that rhetoric for granted and amplified it for the MAGA crowd. That's exactly what happened. Greene wasn't making a comment. She was sending a message. A message to a group of people who are already willing to dehumanize or discredit women like Crockett through racist tropes. Too often, black women are expected to ignore moments like this or do the right thing. But Crockett didn't. She stood firm in her truth. And in doing so, she reminded us all that racism isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's a smirk. Sometimes it's a joke. Sometimes it's a comment about eyelashes. Jasmine Crockett not only stood up for herself, but she stood up for the rights of all black women to be seen in professional spaces without apology, without having their style or identity used against them. When Jake Tapper asked Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett whether Marjorie Taylor Greene should face punishment for her remarks, it was more than just a journalistic prompt. It was a quiet challenge to a system that has too often looked the other way when certain politicians cross the line. So, when Tapper asked if Greene should be punished, he wasn't just asking about this moment. He was perhaps inadvertently asking whether there is any mechanism left in Congress to hold someone like Greene accountable for behavior that's inflammatory, disrespectful, and, in this case, racially coded.
The punishment?
I mean, she didn't face any at the time, so I don't anticipate that she'll face any in general. I mean, I think that this speaker should be inclined to try to rein her in after trying to kick him out of his position. But they just let Marjorie do whatever she wants to do. And I think this was the first time that someone actually said, no, you won't just treat me whatever way you want to and get away with it.
So, Jasmine Crockett's candid response to Jake Tapper's question about accountability for Marjorie Taylor Greene goes beyond just answering from a personal perspective. She also exposes a much larger problem in Congress: the complete breakdown of standards, discipline, and consequences when it comes to certain members of the House, especially those who operate within the MAGA far right. Crockett is clear and honest. She didn't face any consequences at the time, so I don't expect she will now. That statement alone speaks volume. It points to the sad reality that bad behavior is not only tolerated but normalized, especially when it comes from someone like Greene, who has made a career out of controversy, disrespect, and provocation. But Crockett doesn't stop there. She makes it clear that leadership has failed. The speaker should rein in Greene, she said, and she was right. For someone to be able to sow chaos, insult colleagues, and undermine the institution without any checks from their own party is not normal, even if it has become commonplace. And she deftly reminded viewers that this was Greene, who tried to push the speaker out of her seat, but still faced no real consequences. That tells you everything about the imbalance of power and accountability in Congress right now. Tapper then posed a series of reasonable questions to Crockett, who, like Ayok, agreed. Should appearance-based insults ever be part of political discourse? As a reaction.
So to be clear, what I asked for was clarification on the ruling. If her words were taken down, that meant that she was going to have to leave the committee for the evening, which actually would have helped everybody out because the source of the chaos is always Marjorie Taylor Greene. But the chairman was concerned about his votes. He was concerned about whether or not he would be able to move forward with contempt. And so therefore...
Contempt of the, yeah, they were the...
Of Merrick Garland.
Yeah, for the Attorney General Garland.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm like, what are we doing? So what are the parameters? And I generally wanted to know. So I did not state anything to her. I specifically asked a question and I didn't even mention her name. Mm-hmm. And so it was for clarification, and that's what I asked for. And he obviously didn't hear.
Jasmine Crockett calmly explained to Jake Tapper that she just wanted to clarify the committee rules. An absolute masterclass in composure, intelligence, and the ability to strategically navigate a space that often requires black women to sit down and shut up, even when being slighted. What makes her explanation so powerful is that it shatters the entire narrative that she was inappropriate or acting inappropriately. She's not launching a personal attack. She's using the tools at her disposal as a member of Congress to question the double standards that have become all too common in these incredibly biased committee hearings. She points out that if Greene's words were removed, Greene would have to leave the committee that evening. That's the procedural reality. And as Crockett subtly added, that might actually work to everyone's advantage, considering that Greene is often a source of chaos, as that's just a joke. It's a truth that many on both sides of the aisle quietly acknowledge. Greene thrives on disruption, distraction, and deflection. Then Crockett reveals what's really going on behind the scenes. Or civility. About votes. About bringing contempt charges against Attorney General Merrick Garland. In other words, Greene's behavior, however bad, was allowed to go unchallenged because disciplining her would have cost him politically. It's a damning reflection on the state of leadership and accountability in Congress. And the final part of her response is where Crockett completely flipped the script. She clarified that if she never even mentioned Greene by name list. She didn't directly insult anyone. She asked a question. She used the same floor rules that Greene exploited, but with precision, with intelligence, with purpose. And yet, the response was not to engage with her argument. It was to mischaracterize her intentions and ignore her completely. That quote sums up so much of what Black women face in positions of power. It's not just the overt disrespect. It's the overt disrespect. It's the too willful deafness to their concerns, questions, and present. Crockett isn't just making a procedural point. She's highlighting how the system is designed to ignore people like her, even when they follow the rules. This isn't just a response to Tapper. It's a diagnosis of dysfunction, a refusal to be silent, and a lesson in how to demand dignity without ever speaking up. Crockett is showing America what it looks like when someone refuses to be the silent target of subtle racism, partisan politics, or performative leadership. She doesn't ask for the rules to be bent for her. She asks for them to be enforced equally. And for that, she deserves not only our respect, but our attention. So, when we look at this entire exchange, from Marjorie Taylor Greene's racially coded jab to Jasmine Crockett's sharp and strategic response to Jake Tapper's pointed questions, it becomes clear. This wasn't just about eyelashes or viral clapbacks. It was about power, double standards, and the ongoing fight for dignity in spaces that still struggle to treat everyone equally. Crockett didn't just defend herself. She exposed the system's blind spots, challenged the rules that only seemed to apply to some, and reminded us that being unapologetically bold in the face of disrespect is not only justified, it's necessary. And that's a moment worth remembering. Thanks for watching. Stay connected. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with our latest videos and stay ahead of the curve on the issues shaping our world. For even more, join our free Telegram group, link in the description, for uncensored, no-holds-barred discussions on the topics that matter most. Be part of the conversation. Your voice counts.